Chafin, guys. Sorry I was late, but better late than never. Here is the week 4 recap. Sean, you said you wanted us to go a different location to film. Well, here you go. So, recap. We had half the league that scored under 100 points. That's unacceptable, guys. Any win under 100 points is lucky and undeserved. There should really be some type of system that gives all members that scored over the league average an extra W or something. I don't know, maybe call it victory points. But until then, I guess we have to stick with the standard record system. Week 4 recap of Teaching Chooses was another shit show. I'm going to tweak that algorithm again. In our first matchup, we had Walkido beating Chevy. One of my favorite rivalry games every season. Take a look at this premature shit talking by Chevy. And he does the same thing again this week with Sean. There was no shotgun bet this year, but I'm glad there wasn't. The league doesn't deserve our bets, and it's time they start making bets of their own. Anyways, Walkido's team went golf, scoring 167 points. God lost for the first time this year. Chiefin chose Walkido. That was correct. In our second matchup, we had Russ with the largest victory margin of the week with 47 points over PP Man. Russell's Chubb touched the end zone 3 times. How is that possible that Russ also left Jordan on his bench with 31 Chubbs? PP Man couldn't touch triple digits for the first time this season. We will see if it's just a fluke or if Peter Pan's team is really on the decline. I'm sure PP Man is upset. He went with one of the chipmunks over McCaffrey at the draft. Chiefin chose PP Man. That was incorrect. In our third matchup, Sean Rod beat Close in a pretty boring match. Clothesline left Winston on the bench with 41 points, costing him the W this week. Clothesline's power move with the double tight end strategy is not working, as both of them had about 11 points each this week. Clothesline RB2 position is hurting. Sean's team was carried by Rivers, cooking up a nice 27 puds. Also, Kenny Galladay with 2 touchdowns. Chiefin chose Clothesline. Incorrect. Our fourth matchup was our closest one yet. Beat on getting the win by 3 points over Haddon. Haddon filed a rule change and got declined by the commish. He claimed Beaton had to start one of his 3 defenses. Yes, I said 3 defenses. We will see if Beaton misses that 6th seed playoff spot because he forfeited 22 points on the bench this week. Hooper and Lamar Jackson continue to dominate and get Beaton wins. Chiefin chose Haddon. Incorrect. Our 5th matchup was Perry beating Farmer Arge Monday night when Mixoff and I Farted couldn't get Farmer Arge to win. RJ might want to make his second waiver wire move and try to gain some players that score at least 10 points. Perry's crazy $52 fab on Galvin is looking in his favor with that 24-point performance last week. But Barkley may be coming back shorter than we thought, so we'll see how that goes. Chiefin chose Farmer Arch. Incorrect. Our final matchup was another boring one with Turner making sure Chiz stayed holding that goose egg. Turner had a little taste of pass Gurley with his 22 points. Turner managed to get himself 2-2 without Melvin Gordon. So with Gurley and Melvin in that lineup, I don't know if I could ever pick against Turner and Chiefin chooses again. Sorry, Turner. Chiz had another player go down in Hawkinson, but maybe with the rumors of Hill coming back, Chiz starts to gain some momentum. Chiefin chose Turner. Correct.
Okay, guys, as you know, I'm not at my home studio, so I do not have the death balls on me. So as you see, I had 4 losses. I will choose 4 extra death balls next week. So, that being said, yeah. Bye. Alrighty, guys, let's check out these standings. First place, gotta wins with my homies. I gave him his first loss. Hopefully he keeps losing. So, we got Dylan second, Chubb third, Beat on fourth, Let's just skip down. Last place, Chisel Lane. Chisel Lane 0-4. Let's keep that goose. Keep going, Chiz. Why?
Keep the what going?
Okay, let's take a look at everybody's fab account. Holy shit! Holy shit! $5 left, Chevy. You have 5. You have me still with 100. RJ still with 100. And Russell still with 100. Well, there you guys go. Cal Perry's down to 20. Everybody check. Look at your own fab. Why?
Alright, this week's of Chiefin Choosers should be a lot better than last week's shit show of 2-4. In our first matchup, we have myself taking on Ross. I seriously doubt Chubb and England's defense keep it up, so I'll be taking myself over Russ. Our second matchup is Close vs. Peter Pan Man. With Kike checking on his Kamara this week, I still think he'll be able to etch out the win. Close has an injured Adams, and without Adams, Close doesn't have a chance to even put up a fight. If Adam plays, I think I still pick PP Man, but it might be a very close game. In our third matchup is Chevy versus Sean, and what I think is going to be an exciting matchup. Even with Sean getting bailed back from bye, I still think God wins with my homies. Sean has too many stakes in the Vikings with Diggs, Cooks, and their defense. Plus, we don't even know if Diggs is playing this week. Chevy wins, but not by much. Our fourth matchup is Turner versus Beaton, what I think is going to be an ass whooping. Turner getting Melvin back really makes his team one of the strong ones. Odell needs to start getting some points instead of being choked out if Beaton wants to even have a chance. Turner wins by 40. Our fifth matchup consists of Perry going against the Big Donut Chiz, and I think it's going to stay that way again this week. Perry will be celebrating at the Fresh Market, eating hot dogs this weekend. And our matchup of the week is Dylan versus Farmer Arch. Let's take it to this little Fortnite preview to see how this matchup goes. Okay, so this Sunday, I believe these two people, Dylan and RJ, this is what they'll be doing this Sunday instead of watching their teams. You have RJ here working on his farm, taking down some CBD, putting it in his warehouse. Sunday, Dylan Haddon will probably just be fishing instead of watching. What you caught there, Dylan? Think it's a dub.